Okay, I've just now thought about this concept of like, I think the biggest lesson and the reason why I have this situation is that I've always thought that in order to be very loving and forgiving and understanding, you need to have a lot of grace, patience, and wisdom inside of you, and I just don't have that. And for example, with my family, I just want to run away from them and never talk to them again and never see them again. And I thought I just don't have that in me, as though someone just puts it inside of me in like some very limited quantity. And it's just like, I just don't have it enough in me because someone else decided to put this amount of quantity of like love inside of me, which is completely absurd. And I'm always looking for that one pill and one cure that will magically just heal all my problems and transform my life. And it just never is that. And it's like we're always looking for happiness outside of us and not inside of us, even though like we know that we can just decide to be happy and be happy, and no matter what happens to us, we're happy. But we are always looking for something outside to happen, for some achievements, for some dopamine. Like, I don't know, we're always looking for something that will make us happy. And happiness actually comes from inside of us. And I just had this realization, maybe I do have enough love in me. You know, I'm like, maybe I can love my family. Maybe I can, you know, maybe I can live differently. Maybe I can look at this differently. Maybe I can find peace inside of me with my family. And maybe, you know, we can have vacations together and be happy and not always be quarreling and not always be in conflict. Maybe there is a way that I can transform our family and not see it as something broken and something completely hopeless. Maybe I can bring love to our family if I change inside. But I've always thought, no, like the only way for me to ever be happy is to just run away from them to some other country like America, and then I will be happy, and then they will leave me alone, and then we will stop fighting. And it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was wrong all this time. Maybe the reason why I'm stuck here is to stop running away because I just physically can't. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm just realizing maybe I was wrong this whole time. Maybe I don't need to run away from them. I've always just wanted to like cut off all of my connections with them, completely live on my own. And then I will be happy if I just finally get the freedom that I want. Because I've always thought that my parents are like never gonna change. They're literally hopeless. And I am like never gonna change, and we're just incompatible. And it's just the way it is. Like, it's our destiny. We don't like each other, but we love each other. It's like we're just always gonna hate each other. Yeah, we're gonna hate each other, and that's our destiny. That's our family. In our family, we just hate each other. That's what we do. And we care about each other. We do care about each other. But our version of like caring is like very different to someone else's version of caring. It's like my parents think they absolutely do everything for me and like care about me, but I don't feel like they care about me. And it's like it's like they don't love me the way I want to be loved, and I don't love them the way they want to be loved. And they think I don't care about them when I think I care about them. It's like, for my mom, the sign of like loving her is like cooking and cleaning. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, if I cook and clean, she will think I love her. But I hate cooking and cleaning. I hate doing it. And I think that's something that she doesn't understand. Like, I hate doing that stuff. And she just always wants me to be this housewife. I don't know. It's just completely unnatural to me to like this stuff. And to her, like, she was like, when will I see the day where you will be like cooking meal to us and cleaning the house? And I was like, but I just hate doing that. And I love cooking only when it brings me pleasure, and if it doesn't, I don't want to do it. And it's just like little things like that always like, it's like misunderstanding. It's like a complete and everlasting misunderstanding that's between us. Like, they don't understand what I want, what I need, what I value. And I value freedom, I value art, I value like doing what I love, and they don't value it. And they don't value art, they don't value freedom, they don't value like doing what you love for just your own sake. And it's just because we have such different values, we just never understand each other. And I don't know, maybe I was put in this situation to like finally understand and heal this family. I don't know, it's just I feel like it takes everything in me to be so patient, so loving, and so understanding towards them. It's like it takes all my resources. Like, I feel like I'm just it's taking so much energy out of me that I don't want to do it. I don't want to. God, I don't know why I feel this way. I feel like sometimes when you have some family issues, you're like, it takes everything in me to be like graceful towards them. And you know, in that K-drama, there was this dad that just completely is a bad person. And you know, his family tried to be graceful towards him, but he didn't change. Like, till the day he died, he didn't change. Like, the acts of love they showed him did nothing to him. They didn't change him. And sometimes I feel like maybe like I'm trying to be understanding when it's just completely wasteful. Like, I will not change them. Maybe I just need to accept them, but I've tried already accepting them. It's just they always come at my freedom and come at me, and like it's like I'm the only one who's making an effort, and I've already talked about this, and then I still like hit like. But what about your soul contracts? Like, sometimes I feel like not doing what I'm preaching, and it's like about radical forgiveness and like the soul contracts, because me and my family had the soul contract that we're gonna behave and act on each other's nerves like that. And I understand that maybe I look like I'm not acting as I'm preaching, but I honestly tried. Like, I honestly tried to look at it as like a family contract, but it doesn't make things easier just because it was a family contract, you know? It was a soul contract. The fact that we already like agreed on these roles doesn't make the situation better, because they have no idea about spirituality. Like, they have no idea about soul contracts. And to me, they don't make my life easier by doing this soul contract. Like, this fact that we had a soul contract does not make my life better or easier, you know? And it's like, I feel like I'm a fucking imposter that, like, telling people one thing and they're thinking I'm a complete fucking liar, and they don't understand like why I'm saying a lot about forgiveness and I can't even forgive my own parents, and I feel like I'm a fucking liar for that. Oh god. And I truly feel guilty because, you know, I complain about my parents even though I want to teach people not to complain about their parents, because we all have family, we all at some point had family issues and misunderstandings, and it's like I don't know, maybe I just should be more loving, and maybe I do have enough wisdom, grace, and love inside of me in order to heal our family. I know it feels like right now I don't have that resource, but maybe I do have it. Because it's easier to go like, oh, I want to be on another planet, I don't want to deal with these people. You know, it's like a lot of spiritual teachers, for example, Key Guidance, said that she said that I am done explaining to people something that they totally like, they just don't get it, they don't, you know, she was like, I'm done with people. And of course I feel like a lot of like really developed and awakened people feel like that, like, I'm so done with this earth is hopeless. And you know, there was a time when I was like, yes, this earth is definitely hopeless and people are hopeless and everything is, and there is no light in the end of the tunnel. And I was like, yes, I give up, and I don't see that people can ever change and like drastically change this life for the better. Of course there can be small changes, but the system and the matrix and the elite itself, they will never change. And I felt that way. But you know, it's like a soul wants a challenge. It's like it wants an obstacle, it wants a hardship, it wants something that can prove like real love, real forgiveness. It's easy to love perfection, but it's more, it's like more, it's like more important to love imperfection. It's like it's easy to love perfect people, and it's easy, and it's not easy to love not perfect people, and we're not perfect, and it's not easy to like be always like forgiving, and it's like there are nasty people who are like hate on other people, who like it's like it's so easy to like dislike them back, but you're doing the same thing. Like if you hate a person who hates other people, you're doing the same thing, you know? And it's like this trap that if you don't like people that are miserable, you're still like, you're still on this very primitive level where you're like, because it takes a lot of wisdom and grace in order to love people who are miserable. And in order to like change them for the better, because you are so evolved. Oh God. I was like, I don't care if it's like sound noise, I just have to get it out of my system, and I just have to say it, because otherwise this impulse and this thought, I will just lose it. And I know that nobody watches the content in English on my YouTube channel, because my audience is like Kazakh and Russian people. But I I don't know, my thoughts when I was thinking it were in English, and I'm saying it, and I just have to get it out because I'm just considering maybe I should change. Maybe I am wrong. God. Anyway, if you listen to this, thank you. Oh, and I remember I was like saying, I am so tired of being the bigger person, the one person that forgives and understands everyone. And like, no matter what shit you throw at them, they're always gonna let it slide, and they're always gonna be more graceful because they're evolved and blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of this one-sided effort. But the irony is that other people also feel like it's one-sided effort, because my mom always complains like, why do I tell you this all the time and you just never change? Like, she also feels like she's putting in effort. So it's like, we're thinking we're the only one who's like doing the effort, and it's like the biggest like irony ever, you know? And like, I feel like I'm the bigger person, and other people feel like they're the bigger person, and it's like, oh God, this life. You know, I feel like I'm fucking trapped financially, and because of that, I'm miserable. It's like being financially dependent or financially just not rich enough is like the biggest challenge in this world. It's like, if you're not rich, it's like so hard for you to do shit, you know? It's like, you think maybe if I was rich, my life would be so much better, and I think it would be so much better. But it's just like, I was like, the biggest bane of human existence is like being poor or not having enough money that you need. It's like the biggest bane of this existence. It's like everything revolves around money, and you're just like, why does it have to be like that? And you know that children's love becomes conditional, and parental love becomes conditional because of money. And like, I've heard that in America, like, children pay rent to their family for living in their family's house. And in Kazakhstan, we don't do that, but, you know, it's like something becomes conditional because of money, you know? And it's like, in Beef, this conversation, she was like, I'm always chasing that feeling of her unconditional love, of her daughter's unconditional love. And she was like, when she grew up, she stopped loving me unconditionally. And I feel like children feel that too. Like, when children grow up, they feel like parents stop loving them. No, they love them, but they kind of like make it very conditional, you know? And you can feel it on like very deep level, you know? Мне сейчас пришла идея, maybe running away from something instead of staying there and healing it is the easiest way to solve a problem, or maybe to ignore the problem. Yes, ignore the problem. And maybe me trying to run away from this issue that I feel is like the easiest but not the rightest way to deal with this. And maybe I should find this love inside of myself that is so great that I can love people that that I'm not like, people that have different values than me, people who have different views than me. Maybe I have that love inside of me that can accept people who are like very different from me. And maybe that's the biggest lesson of my life. I don't know. I was joke, like, I was writing in my diary like, nobody gives a fuck about me, And maybe that's why I want to be famous, because I want that attention, finally, from other people. And then I will feel the void inside of myself. But, you know, a lot of people actually want to be famous and they're not getting, like, damned about it. So it's like, why should I feel like I'm doing something wrong and I'm wanting something wrong and I'm wrong because I want to be famous? Like, oh God.